Did we have last minute questions on this review before we take the test? What? 5? 25?
All nice now.
This, yes.
We did that one.
We did that one. We did that one. It was 9/12. But I'm in the process of writing this on everyone's thing on how to get the answer. Either by doing the store value or putting it into central trace, going into value. But you have to have something on the graph, otherwise it'll say error. So like if I just put in when x equals 7, there must be something in here. So this is our work. You do have to store something, otherwise it won't. So if I had nothing in here and I tried to do that, it won't let you if there's not something stored in there. Obviously. 26, 46. On which page? This one. So not this one?
No.
The area?
Yeah.
The area. I'll say you don't have area on your test. Did you still want to go over it?
Yeah.
This one. For 22, the length of the rectangle is 5 feet less than its width. That means L is W minus 5. We know the area is 84, so if we multiply our L times our width, we would get 84. But we know our L is W minus 5. So we would need to,
Like length of both or just one thing?
it would be the same on both sides.
Like both of the lengths?
Both of the lengths. Both of the lengths would be equals.
Okay.
So we could distribute and then move 84 over, and then we have the factor. I do not know the factors of 84 off the top of my head. 42 and 2. But that's not it. That's not it.
The 14.
42 and 2.
Oh, that's 14.
4.
The 4 wouldn't be. 40.
So that wouldn't work. Yeah, so if we have W minus 7, no, minus 12, and plus 7. And we set both of those equal to 0. We have 12 and 7. So if the length is 5 feet less than the width, then the width is 12 and the length is actually 7. So it's just a weird way of trying to get you to factor and solve. So for number 12 on the page before that, we would need to move everything to the same side. So we're going to subtract 10x. So 16x squared minus 10x equals 0. How could we factor this? GCF, which is what? 2x. So if we take out 2x, what's left?
8x minus 5.
And then you would set both factors equal to 0. So you have 2x equals 0 and 8x minus 5 equals 0. This one we know is going to be 0 because we have to divide. But this one we would need to solve. So add 5 to both sides and then divide. So our solutions would be 0 and 5/8. Any other questions? You all do have the steps for quadratic regression, but do we need to go through the steps?
Yeah.
So on that problem of who that you said earlier, I'm just going to go back through that one. So we would put our steps into L1, L2, go into stat. To do that, I don't have this available. If you have numbers in here, go up to the top and hit clear, and then scroll down, not delete. Put your numbers in. So that's all step 1. Step 2 is go back into stat, scroll over to calculate. This is now quadratic instead of linear, so on your paper or on this sheet I'm starring the quadratic. Actually, I think I missed that. Number 5 instead of number 4. Still go to store regression, hit alpha trace, and enter 3 times. And you would get your equation. Make sure you write that down. Then for specific values, you can do either of these methods. One, algebraically, put x in, put the number in for x, and then solve algebraically in your calculator. Use the store method, put the number in, so 7, STOX, hit enter. And then, this doesn't say this, but you have to go back to alpha trace and hit enter. And it will give you your answer. Or use the second method, which is going into second trace, going into value, and then putting in that value of 7, and it will solve that for you. So either of those methods. I know I just did that extremely fast, but you do have all of those steps. Other questions on the review? We're at 15. I don't think that's it. Which page? I'm just having this. find it. It's on. I just went back. For that one, it's very similar to 16, except you don't have to distribute or solve anything, move anything, because it's already set equal to 0. You just set both of these equal to 0. That's all. So your solutions would be 1 and 8. Now, if it was set equal to something, then you would need to distribute and move and then solve. But in this case, that was not the case. Other questions on the review? Aubrey?
So can we write it like the point in the action and the second in the bracket?
For the second objective, only curly brackets. For the first objective, when it's asking for zeros, write those as ordered pairs. And then the third, that doesn't matter. Remember to, you need to know your negative b over 2a for the first objective.
I find the y values for the graph and stuff.
For the what?
I find the y values for the graph and stuff. It's like the main
Those two.
finding the stuff. Yes.
Oh, domain is usually something you can find on the graph. So look at your graph and see your x values and y values. So once it's graphed, that will help you. Like actually graph it by hand, not on the calculators, one of them. So remember that domain is left to right, but for quadratics it's always going to be all round numbers, and then range is lowest to highest. Other questions? I need to finish writing this on